There's not many manga that can do something like this with just two characters just kind of talking. There's not many manga that can do that where two characters is talking and it's like, wow, a lot more deeper than meets the eye. And ultimately, yet again, I gotta say it, I gotta stress it, I don't give a fuck. Shinobu Otaka took a character that I was like, Hakuryuu, you kind of like trying to be like Sasuke, you know, I don't really care for you. And throughout the last arc and this arc is like, he's a fucking monster. Like, I honestly, I fuck with Hakuryuu so much right now, especially when you put Alibaba next to him and what Alibaba's doing and what he's doing. They're on a whole separate league, and the end of this chapter, that fucking setup was insane. Y'all know what time it is, people. Say it with me. Say, you know you want to say it with me. That Magi greatness. Let's go. So it's very interesting how Hakuryuu has changed so much to the point where he'll even put up a fake front. He's like, oh yeah, you know, yeah, you've grown this and that. And it's like, he has evolved above that. Like, in his mind, shit like that is like, yo, why you fucking around with me for? Get rid of that shit already. Let's just talk why you're here. What's going on? What's going down? So you can definitely see, while he maybe, if the certain circumstances happened or somebody gave him the ass whipping that he needs, could possibly go back to that. Ultimately, to him, is like he looks down on that life that he used to have, the person he used to be, he looks down on it. And I think this also showcases that Alibaba is a little too late, because he clearly said, had this been 2 weeks ago, I probably would have took your hand and I would have gone my merry way and we would have went once again, you know, traveling and whatnot. He came late. Sometimes, you know, they say better late than never, but yeah. And I can't completely even say what Hakuryuu said was wrong or invalid. When he said that basically, in a way, Alibaba always goes after somebody's deepest emotions and uses it against them. When Alibaba brought up his sister, Hakuryuu's sister, can you really say that from his perspective and from a perspective in general that he's wrong? I mean, Alibaba's not a bad person, we know that. But what he does kind of does go along the lines of what Hakuryuu was saying. So in his perspective, he's not necessarily wrong. And again, I just really love that it's not making Hakuryuu look like an idiot or something. Yeah, he's turned from like a dude with some mommy issues to a fucking nut job. But what he was saying kind of had some validity to it. When Alibaba comes and he says stuff like that, it's like, yeah, why are you going to go to there? Is that your goal? You think that if you touch that specific base that you're going to ultimately get your way? So I can't argue against Hakuryuu's logic. Obviously, again, we know from a viewer's perspective, Alibaba's not a bad dude. He just really wants his friends and he wants, you know, things to go right and get, you know, he wants to do things the right way. But from Hakuryuu's perspective, and again, from a general perspective, if you look at it, he wasn't wrong. And that's crazy, where the villain actually has some validity to his statement, where I'm like, I can argue it, but I can't really argue it. So very powerful shit. And again, it's just two fucking characters mainly for the majority of the chapter, just standing there talking and like starting, like Alibaba looking into his mind of him like, fuck, where do I go? What should I say? What should I do in this situation? And then at the same time, you got Aladdin, got a bad feeling about this, and it looks like it's about to go down. The setup at the end of this chapter, the setup where Aladdin is like standing there and Judal standing there, and then Hakuryuu, like the symbolism of him basically piercing through Alibaba. I don't think that was actually legit. I think that was just him basically showcasing what you do to others and what I'm about to do to you, motherfucker. Hakuryuu is like, it's a whole different league. I honestly don't see any other way other than people coming to back up Alibaba. Maybe Cohen sends some people after them and they're gonna come. Maybe they might come late, but ultimately I don't see it happening any other way, because being realistic about it, Hakuryuu would annihilate Alibaba right now. I honestly see it that way. Unless Alibaba has some bullshit that he pulls out of his ass, I think Hakuryuu would annihilate him. And Aladdin versus Judal, with what Judal has right now, the eye and everything, come on. Like, as much as I love my boy Aladdin, that's my dude, I fucks with Aladdin, I think Judal will take him. Like, it's a fucking crazy setup, and I can't wait to see how it's going to go down next week, but yeah, I think they're outclassed in every which way. And the interesting thing is, as well, again, when you look what Hakuryuu's done and where he's at right now, what he was offering him, I mean, at the end of the day, while probably after that, Hakuryuu would eventually go after Alibaba too, like, nah, motherfucker, you need to get the fuck out of here. He wasn't really giving him a bad deal either. He's like, yo, we take out Cohen, the motherfucker that allowed all this shit to go down and never really said anything. I'll give you Balbad back, and we both get our countries, and we both achieve our goal. again, like, I can't argue with that. Like, what you're saying is factual shit. It's not the right way to do things, and Aladdin would be disgusted and disappointed. But, I mean, he goes for results. At the end of the day, if we were talking real world, and again, you take out some of the shonen elements of friendship and doing things the right way, in the real world, he's talking results. We'll work together, we'll use our Jin equips, we'll have 2 Magi, and we can fucking dominate shit. What's the problem? So, when it went to that route, and again, I gotta look at Alibaba, like, motherfucker, can you just stand up for something? Like, don't fall for everything. At least stand for something. It's like, one minute he's on Sinbad's crew, next minute he's on Kohen, next minute he's actually slightly considering what Hakuryuu is saying, but then thinking like, oh no, it's like, you need to grow some fucking backbone, bro. Period. Like, you cannot keep on being a tail to everybody else. Eventually you have to do like Hakuryuu, regardless whether you agree with what he's doing or not. He became his own man. And I gotta give praise. That's great fucking writing right there, where you make a character just do a 180 to the point where I'm like, I fucked with him hardcore. Hakuryuu shot from like my hated characters to my liked characters, and that's a very, very awesome thing. And a very good setup chapter, honestly. It was like, yeah, they were just talking or whatever, and a lot of dialogue and whatnot, but ultimately it was getting the deeper inner thoughts and the reality at the end of the day of the situation. So, very good stuff. I'm gonna give this chapter 8 to an 8.5. Very good setup, and I can't fucking wait to see this go down, but unless they get back up, I honestly don't see Alibaba and Aladdin taking them out. I need to know what you guys think, though. Do they have even a slithering fighting chance against them? In my mind, the power that they've amassed, especially after defeating Gyokwen, it's Cut City, boy. I don't know. What do you guys think? And your overall thoughts of the chapter in general? Very good setup, and it's just, again, it's such a quiet them talking, but when Hakuryuu gets upset and he's like, oh yeah? Oh yeah? It goes down. But yeah, that's all I have for my review / reaction to this chapter. It's like, Shinobu Otaka ain't playing, bro. Like, one thing after another has been happening, and it's been dominating. Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed. If you liked anything I had to say or enjoyed the video, drop me a like. I'd greatly appreciate it. And if you haven't subscribed, if you could do so as well, that'd be amazing. I'm ForneverWorld, and as always, people, have an awesome day.